Alright, so here are your notes for the United Kingdom and Ireland. Hopefully, you have some notebook paper out that you can be taking some notes on so you can use on your notes quiz tomorrow. Alright, so the United Kingdom is essentially made up of four regions. The main one is England. England dominates the United Kingdom in population and economic strength. It's kind of like the major hub of the area, it's a central location. And then you have Scotland, number two, and Wales, number three. We kind of bunched them together because both were conquered by the English centuries ago. There's been several movements for independence, and they've grown in both countries, but still, as of right now, they're still part of the United Kingdom. You may remember if you've ever seen the movie Braveheart, that was the movement for independence in Scotland, right? And there's William Wallace, that was played by Mel Gibson in that movie. A fourth one and a final one is Northern Ireland. It actually shares the island of Ireland with the Republic of Ireland. And with this map, you can see where Scotland's located just to the north of England, and Wales located just over to the west, and then Northern Ireland right over on the island of Ireland right here. Alright, so the United Kingdom's economy is mainly manufactured goods and machinery. They've been one of the leading industries or leading countries in manufactured goods. Electric industries are though quickly replacing the older ones as they move into the 21st century and the more modern technology that we have. England imports or essentially brings in about a third of its food because of the lack of farmland and limited farm space. So, because they're an island, just like most other island countries, they have to bring in most of their food because a lot of their farmland is used for manufactured goods and machinery and factories. The government of the United Kingdom is a parliamentary democracy. This is where voters elect representatives to a lawmaking body called the Parliament. It also has a constitutional monarchy where a king and queen are the official head of states. But really, they're just more of a figurehead, which means they're just there to be there because they didn't want to relinquish that role whenever it went from a monarchy to a constitutional monarchy. So they're really there as just sort of a figurehead, just to be there. They don't really have that much influence on the actual government. 90% of the people in the United Kingdom actually live in cities, although there's been a big movement, so this percentage may change coming up. There's been a big movement for a lot of the people to move out to the suburbs, just kind of like in the central Texas area. A lot of people moving out of the city and, away from the city. So, same thing over in the United Kingdom. 7 million people live in the capital city of London, making it the most populous city of the United Kingdom. Now we're moving on to the Republic of Ireland. The economy of Ireland is mostly potatoes, barley, wheat, sugar beets, and turnips. Those are the main leading crops. Potato famine of 1845. The famine lasted for about 7 years until 1852. What caused it was a potato disease known as potato blight. This was a pretty big deal because nearly the entire population was dependent on the potato as its main food. Because the potato has so many vitamins and nutrients inside the potato, whenever they started to basically go rotten, a lot of times what the potato blight does is it literally turns them almost a blackish, purplish color. So when you dig up the potatoes, they're all kind of mushy and you can't even use them. So when people, like literally an entire country depends on that crop, that was a major, major point in Irish history. In fact, if you trace back and look back at a lot of the immigrants that came to the United States from Ireland came during the 1840s and the 1850s mostly because of the potato famine of the time. There's been a lot of conflict with Northern Ireland because Northern Ireland is part of Britain. Ireland has literally suffered hundreds of years of unrest, and Southern Ireland is mostly Catholic, the Catholic faith, and counties won independence from Britain in just 1921, which seems like a long time right now, but in the span of how long Ireland was fighting for that independence, it's just pretty recently. Northern countries are mostly Protestant, so that's why they stayed under British rule. Fighting was very, very common between the two. The You have a lot of factions that fought, literally because they were Catholic and the others were Protestant. So that was a very common suffrage happening at the time. Just recently in 1998, leaders from both sides met. They signed an agreement to end the political violence. You can see right here again where you have Northern Ireland located up here, and then the rest of the island of Ireland right there. Here's a poster, right, that was sort of leading up to that peace agreement that they had between them and Northern Ireland. The people of Ireland, they trace their ancestry back to the Celts. The Celts were people who settled Ireland around 500 BC. And the Celts, I don't know if you've ever realized this, but the Boston Celtics, the reason why they take their name Celtics was because a large number of the immigrants, remember in the 1840s and 1850s, came over to the United States and settled in the Boston, Massachusetts area. So that's where you get that name, the Celtics. A third of the people who live in Ireland actually live in the city of Dublin, making it the most populous city in the Republic of Ireland. And that's the end. So you can rewind, you can go back and pause if you need to, but make sure you take some notes over this and come in tomorrow and be ready to take the notes quiz.